Paul Van Doren began with Moralia vehicle and an aspiration. He marketed footwear from Hescar, driven by an ambition to establish a company that would connect with individuals from every background, and presently his billion-dollar enterprise has transformed into a symbol in the realm of shoes and style. Paul Vander was birthed in Boston, Massachusetts. During 1930, his childhood was a combination of inquisitiveness, defiance, and diligent effort maturing. Throughout the economic crisis, discovered the significance of determination. His mother labored as a seamstress. Her work sustained the household, while his father's ventures in innovation frequently resulted in disappointment. The sighting embedded in Paul a mixture of imagination and realism. One crucial instance in his youth was his choice to abandon formal schooling invention. Learning didn't attract them, and he pursued practical knowledge. Alternative. At 14 he entered Randy's, a footwear production facility, as a shoe-fixing student. This position initiated his continuous path in the footwear business and would eventually transform into the initial move toward the company that changed a regular child into a worldwide recognized identity. Music. At Randy's, Paul rapidly showed his talent for comprehending the enterprise. He mastered each element of footwear creation, from conception to production to marketing. His innate management abilities and creative concepts weren't overlooked by his 20s. He had advanced through the hierarchy to become one of Rees' leading managers. In this position, he executed Applin, where the business marketed directly to consumers, essentially Paul Wasserman, even the intermediary. This boosted earnings and enabled direct input from buyers, a method he subsequently implemented at Vans. Regardless of his achievements at Rees, Paul experienced a powerful desire to explore independently. He trusted in establishing a company that would represent excellence, reliability, and uniqueness. This ambition ultimately resulted in the formation of Vans, a business that transformed the shoe industry in Beckham, a cultural symbol. During 1966, Paul Van Doren, his sibling James and associates Gordon Lee and Serge Dia launched the initial Van outlet in Anaheim, California. The outlet was distinctive from the beginning. Unlike alternative footwear merchants, Vans produced footwear on-site and marketed them directly to consumers. This method enabled them to provide personalized footwear and react rapidly to buyer input. Initial business day was reasonably profitable. The outlet marketed 12 sets of footwear. All were custom ordered and ready for collection the following day. Novarthelis. Paul discovered he had neglected maintain currency available for transactions. Trusting his buyers' integrity, he requested them take elect their footwear and come back the following day to settle. Surprisingly, all 12 buyers came back to settle. This established the foundation of reciprocal confiance and fellowship that became a characteristic of Vans. The initial period was not without obstacles, though. Producing footwear on-site demanded substantial funding. In machinery and supplies business, encountered monetary problems and struggled to satisfy requirements. Nevertheless, creative method to commerce and readiness to hear buyers assisted Vans overcome these initial barriers. A major breakthrough occurred when High observed a pattern among neighborhood skateboarders. They purchased Vans footwear for their strengthened sticky bottoms. His footwear were ideal for skateboarding. Identifying engines, Paul started customizing Vans items to satisfy skateboarders' requirements. High incorporated strengthened sewing sturdy supplies and the currently famous waffle bottom. Informal communication expanded rapidly within this skateboarding fellowship, and Vans footwear transferred into the shoes of preference corridors throughout Southern California. This community marketing method was extremalist's force. It established the basis for Vans expansion by concentrating on the requirements of a particular specialized market. Paul, a devoted buyer foundation, and distinguished Vans from alternative companies. Despite initial monetary challenges, Paul's dedication, to excellence, and buyer contentment succeeded. Vans slowly developed a standing for creating sturdy, fashionable footwear that satisfied buyer requirements. This standing assisted the business expand, and by the initial 1970s, Vans had grown to several sites throughout California. Paul Van Doren's direct method readiness to accept chances and concentration on buyer requirements to blizzles the foundation for Vans' upcoming achievement. business's modest origins, marketing footwear from a tiny outlet in Anaheim. The basis for a company thought would transform into a worldwide symbolist. Vans achieved recognition among skateboarders. Paul Van Doren recognized actions to broaden the business influence. The 1970s were a time of substantial expansion for Vans, powered by planned promotion item creativity and a thorough comprehension of their intended viewers. One primary plan, Paul said, was connecting directly with the skateboarding fellowship. Vans supported niggard skateboarding gatherings and contests and supplied footwear to rising riders. This community time developed company devotion and established Vans as a fundamental component of skateboarding tradition. It's a companion connection with the activity. Assisted advance its recognition among youth horsebacked and copied the skateboarding way of life throughout. This period, Vans broadened at its item selection to encompass different sizes, customized to various elements of skateboarding. The introduction of the Vans 95, currently recognized as the era, was a revolutionary moment conceived with suggestions from expert skateboarders Tony Alva and Stacy Peralta. The era included a cushioned neck and a selection of shades. Briefly, it offered both ease and appearance. This cooperative method to item creation became a characteristic of the Vans company, along with its renowned Legion. Off the wall, as an American expression, off the rule, had existed for years, but eventually skateboarder Skip Emblem applied it to describe one of Tony Alva's maneuvers using forced Tokalinch physics as he accelerated his path up a straight wall to the edge of the basin he was riding in. He grasped the front office board precisely as he propelled himself directly up and off the basin platform. Empty space. As the narrative continues, the initial occasion, Tony accomplished it. Skip declared menu just went off the wall. The expression quickly became popular as terminology for everything to signify something fresh and perhaps unusual or even slightly crazy. Express what you desire, Paul stated in a discussion regarding his decision to apply these terms to recognize his company. To me, it represented chance and opportunity to advance things, to maximize every instant it represented. Vans' character and became Vans' slogan, motto, and Gather-Wrinkle. The expansion of the business was restricted to item creativity. Vans also broadened its shopping existence. Paul launched shed fresh outlets throughout the United States. By the final 1970s, Vans had beyond 70 outlets in California alone, and the companion cognition was expanding throughout the nation. In the 1980s, Vans encountered its substantial obstacles. The business expanded its item selection by presenting footwear for different activities, including basketball, baseball, and wrestling. Nevertheless, this expansion extended the business's assets thinly and resulted in monetary problems, but Paul's resolve and commercial skill assisted the business recover. Vans reorganized and concentrated on its primary items, especially the skateboarding footwear that had initially brought the company achievement. This planned change, combined with renewed promotion activities, Vans recover its position. The business's connection with the developing punk music movement additionally reinforced its cultural significance. By the 1990s, Vans was returning. It was experience and grew expansion and recognition. The business became public during 1991. This occurrence supplied the funding required for additional growth. Vans also started the Warped Tour during 1995. This mobile music and extreme activity celebration became a cultural sensation. The Warped Tour linked Vans, the fresh generation of supporters, and strengthened the company's reputation as a foundation of youth tradition. The 2000s witness Vans continued to broaden its worldwide existence. The business launched outlets in Europe, Asia, and Latin America, and established itself as a comprehensive company. Partnerships with creators, artists, and performers additionally expect Vans' attraction and drew a varied and devoted buyer foundation. At the pre-aid, they marketed footwear from the storage off their vehicle in an attempt to improve a connection with the skateboarders, but quickly forward. They were compelled to launch several outlets because of the constantly growing requirements. Vans' expansion was not merely regarding growing sales and market existence. The business also concentrated on environmental responsibility, community duty. It executed environmentally conscious methods and began supporting fellowship programs. This dedication to creating a beneficial influence to develop confidence and devotion. Among buyers, Paul Van Doren's guidance and ambition were crucial in Van's expansion. His capacity to adjust to evolving market situations, innovate, and connect with buyers. Guaranteed. The business achievement presently Vans is a worldwide authority. In the shoe business itis, still recognized for its famous creation sand, powerful connection to youth traditioneth. Business's items are marketed in beyond 100 nations, and Van has a substantial extents in major markets global and minerally Vans is prospering as of 2023. The business produces yearly income air passing for $1 billion. Proof to its lasting attraction and profitable commercial plans Vans, controlling business VF Corporation, has utilized the companion cognition to stimulate expansion throughout its collection. Vans continues one of a corporation's most precious resources and contributes substantially to its complete monetary achievement. The item selection has broadened considerably beyond the initial skateboarding footwear. Vans currently provides extensive variety of shoes, including informal footwear, boots, and sandals. Its service different preferences and ways of life. The compagnie so creates clothing and extrasic as garments, backpacks, and caps. It is simpler than previously for supporters to complete a lie adopt the Vans way of life and follow endeavoring one of Vans' advantages has consistently been its capacity to remain current and linked to its origins. The business consciousness to connect with this skateboarding fellowship, it still supports gatherings, athletes, and programs that assist the activity. This dedication to its primary viewers has assisted Vans preserve its genuineness and reliability in the perception of buyers' partnerships with creators. Artists and performers have also contributed a vital function in Van achievement. Restricted version collections and distinctive creations maintain the company fresh and thrilling and draw both longtime supporters and fresh buyers. These partnerships celebrate the imagination and uniqueness that correspond with Van's primary principles. Environmental responsibility is an author primary concentration for Vans. The business has executed different programs to decrease its environmental influence. Production applies environmentally conscious uplies and enhanced production meds. Vans is dedicated to reaching 100% environmental obtained cotton and 50% recycled polyester by 2025. These activities connect with environmentally aware buyers and show Vans' commitment to creating a beneficial influence. Presently, Vans is the outcome of its powerful company reputation, creative items, and a thorough connection with its buyers. The business's capacity to adjust to evolving market movements while remaining faithful to its origins has guaranteed its continued significance and expansion. Vans expand merely a footwear company. It's a cultural symbol that has created a permanent influence on style activities and youth tradition. Looking to the upcoming, Vans is prepared to continue its expansion and creativity. The business intends to broaden its worldwide presence, additionally to focus developing markets. Simultaneously, it continues to power in its existential current ones with a concentration on technological change. Vans aims to improve its internet purchasing experience and utilize information analysis to better comprehend and serve its buyers. Creativity will continue at the center of Vans plan. The business intends to present fresh item selections, investigate head Vans supplies, and partner with imaginative abilities from different areas by remaining ahead of movements and continuously providing distinctive superior items. Vans aims to maintain its company fresh and thrilling. Furthermore, fellowship connection will continue to be a focus for Vans. The business intends to assist programs that advance imagination, self-expression, and community influence by encouraging relations with its viewers and contributing back to the fellowships that have assisted it. Vans aims to strengthen its company devotion and create a beneficial difference, even following his passing in 2021. At 90 years of age, Paul Van Doren's inheritance continues in the principles and ambition that direct Vans presently the business path. From marketing footwear, from a vehicle becoming $1 billion company is a proof to the strength of creative Eiderman and a thorough comprehension of buyer requirements as Vans looks to the upcoming. It continues dedicated to remaining faithful to its origins while accepting freshness and obstacles. The narrative of Vance is distant from finished. The following section promises to be equally thrilling and motivating.